And welcome back to Talk to Us, where we're going to be talking about self-esteem.
Yep. So I'm Stream ArcaDad.
This is FictionBoi.
And this is Whiplash Wolf.
Woo! So today we're going to talk about a subject that is very...
Oh my god.
So today we're going to talk about a subject that is probably something we all struggle with at some part in our life. Either we have struggled and we've gotten over it, or we're still working on it. And that subject is self-esteem and self-appreciation. So, to you, Fiction, what is your definition of self-esteem and self-appreciation, in your opinion?
Well, self-esteem and self-appreciation, in my mind, are two different things. But I can start off with suggesting that self-esteem comes with believing in yourself, having this mentality that you can do what you want to do if you believe in it, and not really let other people's opinions sway you further from whatever you want to do. That's usually how I would see it. With self-appreciation, you have to learn how to, I would say, love yourself and accept who you are, flaws and all. That's the best way I could put it. But that's just me.
What about you, Whiplash?
What happened to your colors?
Huh?
He changed.
He changed.
Oh,
what
wow.
happened to him? Do you see this?
So for the guys listening, Whiplash has now royal blue stockings for both his legs and his arms, which they look like stocking.
I thought I was just seeing colors.
Okay, now he put on his himbo shooter shirt. Hooters, sorry.
Yeah, this is just my testing avatar. Like to number one. It's still short, so I gotta size it up. Okay. I got too much into that. So what was the question again?
So what is the definition of self-esteem and self-appreciation in your opinion?
Self-esteem. To me, self-appreciation is something that a lot of people don't do enough of. I still don't do it, even with all that we do. Self-appreciation, I feel like, is you don't give yourself enough credit, even though people around you say that you do amazing things, or maybe you're like a lot of people have, which they have, problems about their looks, right? And people will say that to you, and you still don't feel that way. You don't give enough self to us, or we don't give ourselves enough self-appreciation about ourselves, what we do with other people. We just don't see ourselves that way. Most people don't see ourselves that way because we don't want to, take credit for something, or feel like you're better than someone else because of what someone else says. That's what self-appreciation?
Yeah, it is.
Well, to me, at least. That's the way I feel about it, because I'm still the same way.
Yeah. Well, self-appreciation and self-esteem are things that are fairly close, but they're not based off quite the same thing. So, self-esteem is knowing what you're good at, what are your traits, what your qualities, but also acknowledging that you have faults too, and understanding and working with them. And it's the art of being able to take criticism and try to become a better person. At some point with self-esteem and self-appreciation, you reach a state where you know your worth, you know who you are as a person, and you feel confident about yourself because that's who you are. I mean, a lot of us struggle through a lot of things in life, and that's what's defined us, but having good self-esteem is finding what you can do and work with it.
Yeah.
So what if someone gives you is there constructive criticism, and of course there's also very negative criticism? How do you deal with that?
So somebody that will have a good amount of self-esteem will hear those criticism, and they will be either like, this is absolutely true, I am an idiot, I am this or after that. If you have a very low self-esteem, you will believe those criticism and actually accept them as the reality. While when you have self-esteem, you know that these things are not true and you will push them away. And you will be able to fight those negative emotions that will surge from these accusations and harmful words.
Well, I believe constructive criticism are not meant to be harmful. If anything, they're supposed to guide you into the way that could make something better.
Oh, sorry. Did you mention constructive criticism?
There is constructive criticism, and I said there is negative criticism.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so what I said earlier was towards the subject of negative criticism. When you're somebody that has self-esteem, you know that you're not perfect. So you're able to take those constructive criticism and you add it to what you know about yourself to try to become a better person or work on these traits.
There you go. Okay.
And somebody that has good self-esteem can accept constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm. Some people don't know how to either, but
No. That is, so people that can't take criticism can be generated by a few things, but usually it's the people that have massive egos that are not able to take criticism because they're so confident about themselves that the only thing they believe in is themselves, and they believe that they're perfect. So when you're telling them that they're doing something wrong, they don't take it because in their own mind they're perfect. And ego and narcissism is kind of two things that are really close to each other. So it's something to be careful about.
I can give an example. I had to do a written assignment paper for my psychology class, and I thought I did pretty good. However, when the rubric came out from my professor, she told me I didn't do so well. So that was kind of heartbreaking, but Coltyn told me, I needed to elaborate more and understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
And sometimes students don't really take that information to heart because they thought they did hard enough, but when you put in the hard work into something and it didn't turn out that great to the professor, it breaks their heart a little bit and their ego gets in the way of that.
Yeah. So usually professors are usually in a place where they have a lot of authority and they're here to tell you the right thing, but a good professor sometimes will make mistakes, and it's really good when the professor can keep an open mind to suggestion from his students. That is always a good thing.
Because even Coltyn told me that you don't write like a good researcher or even a good writer at that point, but it's not him putting me down or anything, but he's just trying to get me to understand that there has to be some improvement, which I consider constructive criticism. Even though it hurt a little bit, I understood where both of them were coming from.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, I'm not a good reader. I am such a bad reader. I know in high school, or just throughout my entire 12 years of being in school, I was so bad. In Florida, we have this thing called FCAT, which is, it's the Florida certification pretty much for every school year that we have to take it so we can completely, know how we're doing in our classes. I was awful at reading. Like, I did amazing at math and writing. Like, I got the highest score at math and writing every year, but when it came to reading, I got like a 2 or 1 out of like 5 or 6. Yeah, I can't read because I fall asleep too easily. I know I have ADHD because I have to keep moving around. That's why you see me do this sometimes. It's just not me just being... It's not me just being cute to what people say. I have to do something if I'm not standing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the other thing, we're talking about self-esteem and self-appreciation, but what about self-love? How would you define self-love in your opinion?
Oh, what's self-love? I have no idea what that is.
Well, it's still based on opinion, not based on fact.
No, I was joking. I mean, I don't give myself enough self-love. Like, I feel like self-love is something a lot of people don't have unless you're egotistical, like you were talking about some people. Like, they have self-love because they think they're perfect and nothing you say or do will change their mind. But a lot of people give themselves tough love because, they don't see themselves as perfect. Sometimes some people don't want to work on themselves because it's either too much or too hard. And then there are some people who are fine with what they are, but they won't, or know that they are these people that, they have like the egotistical setup, but they don't act like those people. Like, they know that they're fine, but where was I going with this? They're fine, but they don't act like those people. Like, they still will take criticism and work on themselves. Like, they will be these kind of people, and that's why I think I'm getting to the point where I'm giving myself more self-love because I've been working on myself for the past year and a half. Like, it's been a change from before I met you guys, for sure. If you would have met me beforehand, I was really introverted. I didn't care about exercise at all. I didn't care about my looks. I didn't care about like interaction with people and what I did. And then it just all changed. And I'm glad every day I do it. And I still don't, I'm not egotistical about it, but I know I can continue working on myself. And I try to every day still. It's hard, but the more you go about it, the better it gets.
It can be a lifetime's work for some people. It can click for one person the next day, and it can take a whole life cycle for somebody to actually. And some people, some of them has passed away without having reached that level. But I think everybody has the potential to do it. It's just you need to put some work into yourself and building it into yourself. What about you, Fiction? What do you think self-love is?
I think self-love is also pretty much loving yourself regardless of flaws and all. It's whether or not you can improve on your own flaws or not, because there is some flaws that you can recognize from yourself that are not great to some people, because we all have that one thing about us that most people don't like, and that comes with learning how to do it, because there's some people in our lives that probably didn't really teach us the ways to, or what are the social cues and stuff like that when things could, for me, for example, I am terrible at social cues, which I am currently I'm working on them because I want to, not because someone told me. It's because I want to be a better version of what I was before, and learning how to grow from these experiences and getting wiser of it is a pathway to self-love. When you figure yourself out as the years go by, and the whole journey of trying to figure yourself out every single day, it doesn't matter how old you are, you still don't 100% have everything about you focused.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it, the journey of trying to make, love yourself more every day by improving.
Yeah.
Not the destination,
Exactly.
It's the journey.
It is. And we all have long journeys, that's for sure.
Well, to me, in my opinion, I think self-love, the way I see it, is loving the person that you are. Like, either mentally how you are, but also physically how you are as a person. And some people are gifted with having better looks, better body shapes, or better personality, or a deeper voice, or sexy, or this or whatever. And it's finding and understanding that you can't be all these things, and you need to learn to love yourself for who you are. When you wake up in the morning and you go brush your teeth, or you do your morning routine, and you stare at that person in the mirror, being able to say I love myself. I'm a good person. At least I try to be. And it's being able to see that into you, not only on the surface, but inside. And I think it's the thing people struggle the most. I think everybody has the potential to be a beautiful, amazing, incredible person. But you have to believe in yourself first. And if you're worried about the looks, I think everybody has the potential to be pretty. Just give yourself a minimum amount of hygiene. If you see that your hair is long and you don't like it, go to a hairdresser, brush your teeth. You don't have to go to a plastic surgeon and have your body remade, or go to the gym to be buff or to be skinny. I think we use the word fat and stuff with like negative connotations. I mean, being fat is not necessarily a bad thing. It's like the word popular. At the base of it, the word popular is not a negative thing, but it's been associated to negative things from negative experiences. So to me, for people, I like to say fluffy or have curves, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. And whatever you look like right now at this state, whatever you look like, you're at least perfect to at least one person in this world. Perfect in every single way. And that's being minimalistic, because in real life, there's going to be way more than that. And a person that has the self-love and self-esteem puts out an energy that is contagious, that people can feel, and automatically you'll see people will start to surround you and want to know more about you and spend time with you. But you have to believe in yourself first and love the person for who you are. We all have faults. We all have little things that we don't like. I have this little fold of skin next to my eye, or this curve on my body that I don't like. But you know what? There's going to be somebody out there that's going to say, you know what? I find that cute. And I think that's adorable. And I wouldn't change a single thing about you. That's what I think about self-love and self-appreciation, self-esteem.
He really got into that one.
I got to. I really did.
You did.
I'm passionate about the subject. Because I've seen
you're not
so
wrong,
many
though.
people struggle with this subject. I want to help out.
I mean, you're not wrong. A lot of people, I feel like when it comes to self-love, a lot of it just deals with looks. Like, that is the main thing altogether.
Yeah.
Like, it comes to looks. And in the furry fandom, which is great, looks really don't matter to anyone. Except for, certain few people, of course. But looks is not really the number one thing when it comes to furry fandom. It's personality-based, which I am the same way. If your personality is fine, great, we're going to get along.
I would always tell people, if you're working out not for yourself, then you're doing it wrong. Because if you're working out to look good to other people, you're not really going to be happy.
No.
Exactly. Like, I like working out because, besides the fact with the attributes to working out, of course, people will find you more attractive. I'm not saying to do that still, but to do it for your own person. I do feel better every day I wake up, because it's nice just waking up and just like feeling like muscles like grow out, and knowing that you're working better on yourself, becoming healthier, and just doing all this for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is what I love.
I remember back at school, the guys that would catch on with the girls were the one that would go to the gym, and they were super buffed and ripped. And you know what? That's what all the guys did. They went to the gym and they tried to be ripped. I was this twinkie boy, 90 pounds when I was I was 14 years old, tiny boy, and I had no self-esteem, and I was like, I'm never going to catch on with anyone. Nobody's going to love me because I'm not ripped like these dudes. But I'm going to follow up that story with something in the future, but we'll keep it at that.
Even then, when I was the jock too, but the thing is that imagine only people liking you for how you were to a football team and nothing else. Yeah. That's depressing.
Actually, it's kind of funny. So you were a twink, you were the jock, and I was a fat kid.
So see, we all got different backgrounds. But if you plan on changing something about yourself, don't do it to please others. Do it because you want to do this. Like, if the fact you're overweight makes it so that you're always like kind of tired when you go upstairs, and you want not feel that way anymore, then go to gym, but not to be pretty because you want to feel good about yourself. It's same about like if you want to grow a beard, or you want to put on some certain clothes, or have a certain hairstyle. You do it because it makes you feel comfortable with your own body. And whatever your look, I think everybody has the potential to look beautiful and amazing.
Yeah, make yourself, love yourself, don't do it for anyone else. Because if you do it for other people, then you're just trying to be a people pleaser, as I would put it as.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to be around people like that.
Yeah.
And it's
because
not going to build a healthy...
fake. It comes off as really fake, and that's one of the things I would never find attractive about people.
Exactly, and like with what we do...
I can't stand it. I can't stand fake either. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
And like anytime I meet with new people, like I just be myself, like because that's what people want to see from you. They want to see you be yourself, pretty much, not someone who's just putting on this skit to be, just be the person that you are, that they know you from, like our TikToks or streams or stuff like that, or the show. They just want you to be yourself, like because I mean, there are some people who do that. And I'm like, eh. It's like I'd rather know the person you are, besides the person that we know you for.
What's another thing? There was another thing that I've learned from our Coltyn buddy over here, and something anybody should learn from. Coltyn taught me an important lesson about things, and that is, if you are 100% authentic to strangers, and you don't even know, the problem is that most people is that when they're introducing themselves to new people, they don't really let everybody know who they are. And Coltyn taught me the ways of understanding. If you just give people your 100% self, without really any expectation, the more people will want to be around you. And if they don't, well, F them. That's what he would say, because they're not comfortable with being themselves around you.
You know what?
100%.
I totally agree with that. Honestly, me, when I meet somebody at first, right off the bat, I'm 100% me. I tend to not have any filter when I'm talking, and it freaks out a lot of people and it scares them off. But the ones that stay, they stay for a long time. Because they didn't find me out over 10 months. They found out me right off the bat, and they know who I am. And I think it's important to be transparent. But there's another thing that you mentioned. It's like, oh, this is me. This is the way who I am. It's important to be true to yourself. But I've met some people that were like, they were really like mean to some people. And when they say I would confront them about it, like, why are you so mean to this person? He didn't do anything wrong. And the person says, well, I'm just a grumpy old person, or I'm this bitch sometimes, so deal with it or go away. I'm like, no, you can't do that. That's not good. I don't think it's acceptable behavior. To me, it's very selfish. It's like, I don't care what people think. I'm just going to say whatever I want, and I'm going to be careless about it and hurt other people's feelings. No, that's not okay. I don't agree with that.
I'm guilty of sounding off-putting at times, and I don't mean to.
I mean, same.
I remember you and I had a talk, and you told me you didn't like how I said one thing about something. I forgot what our talk was about.
Oh no!
And you were, and I didn't really. I'm not bringing up
a word
topic,
you said,
but no, it's because
it's
because I said it's the LOL. I said LOL, and you were not happy with it.
Did I? I can't remember.
You were saying,
I don't know.
You said it came off as condescending.
Did I?
You did. Because I realized that I didn't realize I was, but from your social perspective, if there's a serious topic that we're trying to talk about, and I say LOL to it, it doesn't like I'm taking it seriously, and you think that was condescending.
Maybe I was just a little upset that day, not with you, but with something else, and I just came off that way. Like, that's my bad if that's the case. But I know it's one thing, like, when people have, like, a bad day, they might come off as condescending to other people when they don't mean it. Which, I mean, that's unfortunately a thing that happens to all of us, and we can't control it. Like, unless you can control it, then go on you. To me, I can't control it.
It's more of a thing you just have to understand social cues, that's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you do something wrong, keep an open mind. Even if to you it doesn't make any sense why they're criticizing you or they're hurt about something you said. Even if to you it's like, well, I just said lol, it was just a joke. But to them, they got hurt by it, just apologize. You're just gonna win their respect by doing so. Don't have like this massive ego and like be like, oh no, I didn't do anything wrong, and keep your end of the bar. No, just, pick your fights. Is it worth it to argue with this person? Just admit you did something wrong and it'll be fine. Usually that's what I do. If I'm the first one to do a lot of mistakes like that, like I would say something, I said something completely like really mean or hurtful or careless, and I didn't even realize about it. And I always tell people, like, look, I'm not perfect. I do mistakes. If I do something that bothers you, and I've already talked to some of the guys out here and people backstage, like, if I do something wrong, I really apologize. Just let me know, and I'll admit to it. And I have some people I've done things that I wasn't proud of, and they came to me. I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's a very touchy subject. I'm not going to do it again. Just admit your faults. Having good self-esteem, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to ask us?
Well, first I want to mention something. So guys, we need to ask you, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe on our channel on YouTube, and also follow us on our audio media platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music. What are the other ones? Google Music? We have a few of them. Google. So make sure you check in the link description. We have a link tree linking to all the different platforms we're on. So if you're listening on an audio platform, just follow and like us. If you're on Discord, if you're on YouTube, give us a like, a share, and put a comment below if you want to. So yeah, for the question of the week,
click the bell for notification. Click the bell for notification to stay updated with our videos.
Yes, you'll get a notification. Our audio podcasts are always been uploaded on Tuesdays, and the video episodes on YouTube are being uploaded on Wednesdays.
Good job.
And also, let's go for the question of the week, which is... Oh, I'm having scrolling. Question of the week: Do you practice good self-esteem practices? And if so, what age did you started doing it? Well, that's going to be a good one. It's something we're going to talk a bit later. Probably.
I would say, I think everybody learns self-esteem at different paces of their life. Me personally, I think it's more of an extra challenge. Because I didn't understand social cues that much, because I was always that one kid always playing video games when I was in between elementary and middle school. Who needed, you know what?
I think we should. I think we should go back before we enter this one. I think there's a point we should address, which is, what is your current level of self-esteem and self-appreciation at to this day, and why do you think it's currently at this level?
Okay, I would say there's always room for improvement, no matter what. No matter who you are, there's always going to be something that you need to improve.
Yes.
Me, I've
100%.
said this before, social cues is one of my biggest struggles. And it's more of an extra challenge for me than most normal people. Some people can pick it up, no problem. But for me, it's because I lacked a lot of friends growing up between elementary and middle school. I didn't really go out that much when I was that little. So it's still, and I did more of it in high school, but still, it was still difficult for me to do things correctly. And I'm still learning that as an adult. I probably will maybe be better when I hit maybe my 30s. That's one of my things that I struggle with.
When I was still your age, which I might gotta make myself so much older. I'm only 2 years older than him. But when I was 25, I was still pretty blatant to social cues. Like, I just started getting better at them over the past year and a half. Like, now, to me, social cues are like... I see them like a train coming at me. It's pretty easy to spot out social cues now. But back then, I was so blatant and so, like, nonchalant on what social cues were that I never caught them when I saw them. But, yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, for sure.
Yeah, I gotta say my self-esteem level is pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not perfect. I mean, I got my faults, but I've had a moment where it clicked for me, which I'm gonna mention at the end of part 2 of this episode, because this is probably gonna be a long story. But I feel it's pretty good. I've made mine pretty at a young age, and to me, what I struggle with was loving myself for who I am. Like, I didn't feel like I fit in. I had a hard time making friends. I felt like a reject at school. And then I started to, I don't know how to put this. It's kind of hard to put in words.
He joined the furry fandom because he felt like a misfit.
No, actually, no, it's not because of it. Actually,
that's most of the time. That's how most people come in.
Yeah. So one of the good thing of the furry fandom is the fact that we accept everyone. But
are you sure? I came in because little bunny was hot.
I accidentally
I
stumbled
could
upon
talk
it.
about this for a while. But, oh god, I'm struggling to explain what it is for me. I mean, I know my qualities, I know my faults. I've been complimented on them so I used to tinker a lot when I was a kid, and I used to make a lot of stuff, and people would go to me and be like, "Oh my god, you're so smart, you're so clever." And at first I was like, to me it was like nothing. It was whatever. I'm just making these things. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
So
but
modest.
I started like then I started to like, you know what? I started comparing myself to other people, and in art class when they were making thing, I would compare myself to me and to them, and I was like, oh god, I am different. And I started like, it kind of feels like it's really hard to explain without sounding like a narcissistic person or like. But I started to believe the fact that I was actually good because my father, when I was younger, he would go through a lot of stress and he would wail on me verbally saying I was worthless, I wasn't good for anything. So my self-esteem was very low. And I was making things, but and I didn't feel like people were paying a lot of attention when I was younger. So I think that I kind of lack it even today. That's probably why I make content online, because I appreciate what the comments people are saying. But you know, being brought down by my father a few times. I mean, it's not a major issue. I'm in a very good relationship with my father, but during a certain phase where he was going through a lot of stress, he would wail on me, and it really hurt my self-esteem. And then getting those comments and feedback from people allowed me to rebuild myself up. And I started be more confident about myself, and I started putting out this aura, and then I started making friends. But social cues was something that I struggled for a long time because I was a reject at school. I had no friends. Nobody wanted to hang out with me. I was the weird one at school that would do those weird things. So I can say I've completely changed. I think just the fact that knowing that because I was weird, I didn't really have a lot of self-esteem. But oh my god, it's really hard to explain. I don't know if this made any sense at all.
It's okay.
No, yeah, you're good. You're good. Trust me. It's all
There's
about
a lot of things
experiences.
that we can. There's a lot of things that we probably could talk about that we don't really know the full explanation ourselves. Sometimes it's okay not knowing the answers right off the bat. Sometimes you figure it out later in life.
Yeah. So yeah,
Like
I mean,
so
yeah.
like I can probably ask a question about why I was to probably bring up an explanation that I probably never understand about Whiplash is how he's so comfortable wearing a Himbo Hooters outfit, and I don't have the courage to do it.
I admire that.
I
admire that.
Okay, well, here's the thing: it's not based on like anything ego-wise. It's just like I'm more comfortable with the way my body looks. Like I have muscles now, and I'm not afraid to show them off. Like my gut's not big. I'm not afraid to show that off. So it's just where that comes from, honestly. And honestly, it's freeing. Like I don't wear it anywhere else except for furry conventions, but. To be fair, as we see it in the furry fan, I mean, anyone who has like arm warmers or leg warmers on are usually considered the femboys. But I do
Not
it
you.
mainly. No, I just do it mainly for fun because I make it work, to say the least. And you've seen it. I somehow make it work, but it's funny because I'm not exactly what you think I'd be wearing that stuff. Like I have a Himbo Hooters shirt on. Well, my shirt says Himbo Hooters, doesn't say Femboy Hooters. That should be like the giveaway right there.
What was my mistake at the first episode I joined in? I called you a femboy hooter, but it was like, no, that's not it.
Exactly. That's why I have it. Like, of course, everyone's gonna see that, and be like, oh, it's femboy hooters, and no, there's himbo hooters out there, just in very smaller terms. You two technically would be himbo hooters too. Well, not technically, you would be.
So what is himbo?
It's like bimbo,
Big, dumb,
but
muscly
himbo.
man.
Yeah, just think of bimbo, but himbo. Yeah, pretty much.
Let me ask you something. Is there anybody that you guys are aware of, or you possibly know, that loves themselves and are comfortable with themselves. It could be someone you know, or it could be someone you probably look up to.
See, the thing is kind of hard to answer because what the image they're projecting out there versus what they really are can be different.
I could think of one person.
I don't know for me. Give me time, come back to me, I'll think about it.
You want another? I'm pretty sure you know who he is. I don't know him personally, but I'm aware of him based on his stories of how he is as a person. He knows how he is as a person. Whiplash, you know him. Well, you're aware of him. You don't really know him, but you've seen him before.
Wait. Who is it?
His last name, his first letter starts with an S, and his last starts with an O. Steve-O.
Oh, Steve-O. I wasn't thinking of Steve-O.
I think I got someone.
Steve-O is very comfortable with himself.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
Peter's thing is I feel like if you're on Jackass, you have to be comfortable yourself regardless. Because the crap they do. I mean, look at Preston. Like, he's comfortable with himself, and obviously, like, when people's, terminology, when they see someone, like, they feel like people who are, like, that size are not comfortable with themselves, but Preston proved otherwise.
Okay, I know one. I know. Who's that singer that sings, "In a minute, gonna need a little minute, sentimental, and a woman"? Who's that person? What's the
I have no idea, but I know the song.
I know the song too.
I feel like we had Andreas here.
Lizzo. I don't know if she is really, but the fact that she's a above weight woman, average weight woman, and she's so comfortable, and she dances, and she put herself out there. To me, the energy she's putting out is that she loves herself just the way she is. And to me, I find that amazing and super attractive in a person. That she projects this amount of self-confidence, like she's real. She doesn't fake anything. Like, that's my body. That's the way I am. I'm going to put these sexy ass clothes and I'm going to put myself out there and have a good time. Like, high respect. And Ryan Reynolds would be my second one.
Ryan Reynolds he's like everyone's. He's like everyone's number one, number two.
The reason,
if I would cosplay, I would do. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. So the reason why I said Steve-O is because we all know when we think of Steve-O, you don't think of he's not a gay man. We all know that.
I think of a firecracker going out his asshole.
Oh no!
The
thing is,
with Bam.
He also butt chug beer in his butt. I mean, that was the other thing.
I remember that, and apparently, I don't know how that's cold enough. But apparently, you get drunk faster that way. I don't know how that works, but
it is.
That's so weird.
The thing is, though, I realized
don't do that at home. Don't do that. You don't condone this.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
That Steve-O wouldn't make sure you wouldn't condone that either. But the reason why I think Steve-O is probably the person that is so comfortable with himself is that I saw a Twitter picture of him, and I follow his Twitter because I like his stuff. And make sure they're going to probably blur me out for saying this, so good on you, Coltyn, if you do. He has a mask. He takes a picture with this guy, and the mask is his mouth. It's literally his mouth full of semen.
I'll probably let it say because Steve-O has a big dick, and he doesn't care about that.
Oh my god.
No, he literally has cum in his mouth with a mask. But we all know he's not gay, so he's comfortable with his sexuality to make jokes about that. That's what I'm saying. That's when I realized he's very comfortable with himself.
Another person would be Aaron Henson from Game Grumps. He makes gay jokes all the time because he's so comfortable with his body and his sexuality that he doesn't feel like he needs to prove anything to anyone. That's self-esteem right there. I love this guy so much. He does the stupidest thing ever in the hopes to make people laugh, and he doesn't care what he looks like.
No, exactly.
I really like that guy. He's funny as hell. The Game Grumps
You hiccuped.
compilations. I keep watching them when I'm working on avatars and stuff. They're so good.
Ingrams.
Yeah.
I need to watch more Game Grumps later on.
I need to watch more Jackass.
Alright. True. I need to watch more. What was it? South Park.
Did you see the
Anyway.
new?
Oh wait, that's right. There's a new movie out, isn't there?
Yeah,
I
we
completely
should watch
forgot.
that later.
No, absolutely.
So yeah, that could be something like in the question in the comment section below in the YouTube video. Either you answer the first question we mentioned, or you can mention to you who is your model for self-esteem. I think that would be a good one as well.
He was.
I would love to read your comments. Please do. Also, one little quick message. We would like to tell you guys that we have a Twitter. We also have a Telegram community group, and we also have a Discord chat that you can join us and have a chit chat with us. We sometimes hang out in voice chat if you want. If you see one of us online, don't hesitate to join the call or write a little something. We're very friendly. I mean, we're just human beings here. We're just casual people just making content, having a good time, and we love to interact with our community. So feel free to do so. So click in the link tree in the doobly-doo below, and you should have a link to literally everything we mentioned earlier.
It's a button.
Exactly. It's just a button. Yeah.
Push the
That
goddamn
was a
button.
button.
I will say this. That is one thing. Like anytime I come across someone who's like a fan of what we do, they're always like, "Oh, I was just nervous to talk to you because you're like this TikToker." I'm like, I'm just a normal person who makes stupid videos. Just come up to me
That's pretty
whenever you
much how
want
it
to.
goes.
Yes, I'm just a normal person. I love talking with people, and if you're a fan of the video, just come talk to me whenever you want to. Like I will. If I'm talking with someone else, like I'll talk with them too. But also talk with you. Just join in on the conversation.
People need to also learn. People need to learn that just because we make content, yeah, we have a big following because of our content. People need to understand that we are not gods. It's kind of weird seeing us like that. If you just learn to talk. Now, if there is somebody that wants you to treat them like they are one, and it's very self-explanatory based on some things I've seen from furries, like I've seen one where I went to this. It was supposed to be someone's special day because they got a date and shit. And this is kind of ego stroking a little bit to me. It's pretty obvious. I went to their world. It's supposed to be their big day, and then you see the guy that invited him to his world, big popular furry too. But I'm not gonna mention his name. Big popular furry. He has his own world, and there's a big ass fucking statue of him. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And it's supposed to be the other guy's special day, but we're mostly talking about him. And I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get pissed off.
Yeah, that was.
I'm kind of guilty of that. I used to have 2 statues of myself in my first ever world that I made. But I put it just like as a reference, like if you see this name, this is what I look like. And I had my 2 versions because I used to be a German Shepherd before an Arcanine. That's when before I learned Unity and Blender, I didn't know how to do an Arcanine, so I did the German Shepherd, which is the closest thing to real life. And I put it there just like as a reference, but I would never do like a stone marble statue that goes all the way to the roof. I've actually deleted this world, so don't look for it, you won't find it.
Yeah, those people.
Bad Arcanine.
Yeah.
That, huh? Oh,
I kind of felt like it was like, okay, that is a bit egotistical. I'm going to put that down. That's not okay.
Or the ones that kind of brag about having a suite, even though they didn't really do anything to earn it. I'm talking about the recent thing about the con
the
of the
MFF,
situation. Yeah, and then there was people bragging that they were bragging they got the suite from the room. And I'm like, and they're a popular furry and shit like that. I'm like, dude, didn't do anything really to earn it. You just got lucky. You didn't pay for that kind of thing. It just like,
I mean,
yeah, okay.
I'm
it's
not gonna
cool.
lie, even though I know MFF's like the biggest con and everything, but after what they did with the room lottery, and like it's weird because they have all these rooms, right? Where are all of them at? Because most of the furries I talk to don't even have a room. It's like, where do they all go? Like,
Yeah.
the entire hotel just has, like, 5 rooms available, and that's it? But, like, this little thing with MFF, I don't even want to go to MFF anymore because of it. Don't want to do AC either, honestly.
Mistakes.
I'm gonna come back on subject. Some people can have self-esteem in both positive and negative ways. Usually called ego. Why do you think some people have those massive egos versus having high self-esteem?
Come back to me on that one. I'll let Whiplash do that.
I mean, having, like, just... I feel that's something you have to come back to me on, too. Like, I have, like, something in my mind, but I'm not sure if it's the correct thing to say at the moment. And I'm gonna overthink of myself. But, I mean, massive egos are... Yeah, you do yours, ArcaDad. I know you want to talk about it.
Well, I think when you have like a high level of self-esteem, when it goes too far, it becomes ego, where you're so confident about yourself that nothing else matters. Like I mentioned a bit earlier, you think that you're perfection because you believe in yourself so much that you have the ultimate explanation to everything. And a lot of people, they have massive egos to compensate for a lack of self-esteem too, which kind of is... No, I think, you know what? I'm going to pull back. Ah, damn it. This is such a like delicate subject, but a lot of people, so there's people that have self-esteem and reaches a level that is so high that it turns into ego. And there's people that lack self-esteem so much, that sphere, that little ball of self-esteem, they got to compensate with something. And they will resort to having massive egos to protect themselves. So that's why you see guys are like, you insult them and you say something like weird, or you try to get close to their boyfriend or their girlfriend or whatever, and they get like all tough and protective, and they gotta prove to you that they're these massive big guys that can't hurt anything, but they're actually like, they look tough and hard on the outside, but they're, you know, they're sensitive and emotional people on the inside. They just want to look tough because, you know, it's a self-defense mechanism.
People mostly display their egos on the internet very good, but in real life they are not like that.
They bark with no bite.
There's a difference between being
like,
on...
That's what I said. First, it's like the first thing is what I'm trying to say is that it's the internet. Where reality ends where you log in. Lots of folks, you know, still haven't figured that out.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean...
Second, well, I'm almost done. Second, some people only want power. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they don't really care in the slightest how they obtain it, and that can be very dangerous. Most of them, especially in the political office.
Yeah, they do have massive egos. But the thing is, when you're in politics, you need to be soft and sensitive to people for people to elect you, but you get backstabbed so many times by friends and foes and coworkers that you need to develop some resilience. So you'll see that a lot of politicians, they have some level of narcissism. They need to balance this out. My husband being involved in politics, he's trying to be a good guy, this sensitive guy, but he's getting backstabbed constantly, and he's struggling with that part. But yeah, usually like massive egos are characterized by people that were mistreated. They were being told shit when they were kids. They were bullied at school. So at some point they develop a big ego to compensate for like God, what's the word? From pain of the past, of their previous experiences and things. I'm struggling right now. I apologize.
It's good.
But
as a person who, you know, when you think of the popular kids in high school, you think who are the popular kids in terms of a group? What comes to
the bullies?
The bullies? No, not jocks. Usually they're the hierarchy. In terms of.
I had some people from different physical appearances have being bullies. I've seen some skinny guys bullies, some guys in the football team bullies. I've seen guys that were overweight that were bullies. I mean, It varies quite a bit. It depends on your school. Maybe in Canada is different from the United States. Honestly, I think we're pretty much similar. There's not a lot of difference, actually.
It could be, I still believe, like, deep down, those people that follow their ego are just trying to fill a void somewhere in their life by materialistic possessions or treating people like doormats. I've seen that before.
Because at home, they're being mistreated by their father families. You've seen this in movies, probably.
I've seen it in real life, too.
Well, yeah. Well, Breakfast Club, the big tough guy that is all strong and stuff. At home, he's being treated like shit by his father.
But he's very smart.
He's smart,
very smart.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna.
Well, I was gonna continue because I actually like talking about this.
Oh well, we can go for a few minutes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oftentimes, I would say the egotistical ones are also the ones that actually benefit others most. People enjoy that say the high quality yet expensive bakery and bakery CEO is successful kind of thing. Meanwhile, the person asking for donations for some good cause is seen as a nuisance. You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
This obviously does not account for like all cases of, or even a majority, but there are a lot of people who know they provide immense value to society and can therefore, quote unquote, afford to be egotistical, while there are many others who know they are not so valuable and therefore make a big show of how, quote unquote, good they actually are. That's, or I see a lot of furries do. They try to, quote unquote, say they're that good. I've seen that with some popular furries when they're really not that good.
Yeah, that's like they're a bit too overconfident and they believe that they're right. That's where the narcissistic trait shows into play. I mean, ego and narcissism are things that are really close. I mean, this is a subject studied by a lot of people and with high college degrees and university. They do this for multiple years, studying this type of behavior and like the social aspect of these things. But yeah. But so I think we're gonna call it off for this part, this first part. I mean, this is probably going to be a long episode, so we're going to invite you to join us on part 2 next week. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and anything you would like to say, Fiction or Whiplash?
I want to say you're doing pretty well on doing the introductions and ending it. It's pretty good.
I still feel like I'm struggling, but thank you.
Oh, trust me, I was at first.
But just
Whiplash, what are you going to do?
Just remember, everyone, hit that like button, follow, and press the ring, or door, whatever it's called, the bell,
the
get notifications whenever you upload the video. Otherwise, I'll come smash your chocolate.
No,
not the chocolate.
Oh, not the chocolate, please. It's my favorite.
You like that? Oh,
and make sure to follow us on our other audio programs we have as well. There's too many to name off, so just go find one.
I need to find a proper way to call these out because they're very difficult. So yeah, so you guys have a lovely day. Take care of yourself. Learn to love yourself for who you are. You're amazing just the way you are. You guys have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Can we start? Do we just pause for part 2?
Yeah, we can. Like, I think those so far for this first part, I think it's not too bad.
Yeah, if anyone needs to grab a drink of water, do it now.
Yeah, I think I need to drink something.
How did we do?
It's really hard right now
because there's subjects that are so delicate that I don't feel like I have enough knowledge to talk about them in depth. But I think talking about my personal experience, I think it's the best way to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, like we aren't professionals in the topic, so it's not like they should be expecting us to be psychiatrists or something. We're just giving brief overviews and our experiences. Yes, my hair is cute now.